Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
And Phil.
What's up, guys? Dutchie clocking in here. As always, God bless. Go first.
Let the celebration begin.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Eagles postgame show with Jack and Dalton. Proudly powered by TickPick, the official fan experience partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, let's take it to the
These boys are rolling on through them. Now, look, may have not been the prettiest, may have not been, the sexiest, but a win is a win in the National Football League, especially when you stack them up like this. Is this number 4 now, I believe, Jack? 4 in a row?
Yep.
4 in a row. Going into Dallas next week, like Heyman said. Thank you to all of our Eagles fans who are joining us. If you guys are new here, my name is Dalton. This is Jack. We bring the hammer for you guys when it comes to the Eagles. See what I did there? But no, I had this in my hand the whole time. I will put a link to this of where you guys can buy this. Facebook Marketplace, my guy Tyler. He sells these. They're awesome. But in all seriousness, Philadelphia Eagles impressed today in the Kelly Green game. They showed up. They looked great. And led by Saquon Barkley. I mean, Jack, how were you feeling watching it?
It was a great game. It was a great W. Saquon Barkley had a wonderful game. I think he had 199 rushing yards, almost 200 yards. And it just my biggest concern is they stopped us on the tush push, but multiple times. And I mean, everyone knows what we're going to do when it's 4th and 1 or right on the goal line. We're going to run tush push. So we need to get better at that. I don't think we had Saquon in at all for those tush pushes, and we need him to get the last push because I think we had Shipley in at one time, and then we had Kenny G at one time. We need to have Saquon there. But great W. That one play that should have never been a touchdown, the fumble that Saquon had. After that play, it just seemed to me that the wind in our sails kind of depleted. So we need to get better at that and bounce back. But other than all in all, great W in the Kelly Greens for sure.
Yeah, what mattered is now the Philadelphia Eagles wearing those uniforms, the new Kelly Greens, the new era, are 3-0. They have never lost in these uniforms, which is kind of crazy to think about. Almost makes you wonder if they're going to bust them out some point here in the playoffs, like a secret weapon or some sort. Who knows? But man, oh man, like Jack just alluded to, Saquon Barkley leading the charge today. And when you want to talk about a guy that just on and off the field knows what he's doing, knows how to show up, I don't even know what to call that movement. I've never seen a hurdle like that, a backwards hurdle. I don't think you could replicate that in Madden in a video game if you tried. I've never seen anything like that. I don't think Saquon Barkley's ever seen anything like it. I think he was just as impressed that he did it as we were. But the Philadelphia Eagles, that first half, came out swinging. We talked about it on our regular weekly broadcast. If you guys don't check out 302 Birds weekly show on Wednesday nights, but I said on the show, hey, Eagles should score in the first quarter here. Jaguars have the worst passing defense, and it showed true today. The problem is that they took their foot off the gas pedal there in the second half a little bit, made it closer of a game than it shouldn't have been. But overall, I mean, keeping focus on the topic at hand, Saquon Barkley, I mean, they really have found a gem with him. And I heard them talk about it earlier this week on 94 WIP. Shout out to them. And it was along the lines of, do you think that Saquon Barkley is the best free agency addition of any team in the NFL this year? And they said it's either got to be him or it's got to be another guy that found the end zone today in Derrick Henry. One of those two guys have probably got to be the best free agent signing that happened this year. I would personally say, though, looking at it, I think Saquon Barkley is kind of what Jimmy Butler was for Embiid, just to use another Philly sports analogy, but kind of that guy that you can lean on, you understand, can be that guy when you aren't that guy. And man, oh man, I mean, like Jack said, just almost under 200 yards. He's looking really, really solid.
Yeah, I mean, Saquon Barkley played a great game today. He still got it. He's still quick. Just keep feeding the ball to him, and he will. I think he's gone above 100 yards in every game, maybe -1. So yeah, it was a great signing, and I think he's a great fit for us because we have one of the best offensive linemen in the league right now, offensive line in the league. So I think with him running behind that offensive line, I think we're seeing a new Saquon Barkley. But yeah, like Dalton said, it's great to get a touchdown or a score in the first quarter. We haven't done that all season, if you can believe it or not, but we have not scored in the first quarter until today. So hopefully that keeps on going, and keep feeding Saquon the ball.
Yeah, keep giving Saquon his takes. Keep giving Saquon, because when the Eagles give Saquon Barkley the ball and when Jalen Hurts runs the ball, the two of those two things combined, the Eagles go up a lot. They just play their game and teams can't keep up with it. Obviously, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are a huge part of that too, but those two guys have gotta be locked in. And speaking of locked in, I said it as well on the show. I wanted this guy to be locked in today. He didn't quite hit the threshold I wanted. I really wanted him to have that 300-yard game. He clocked at 230 today, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and a QBR rating again, guys, over 130. This week he had 132.3 of a passer rating, which is insane. I mean, when you guys want to talk about efficient for a QB, Jalen Hurts has been everything that this team needs and then some. He may not have the exciting play right away, but there's 4 quarters of football to play. That's what I'll say. I mean, I saw a lot of people online talking about Jalen Hurts early throughout the game, saying that they feel like he just wasn't aware, wasn't there. And look, he has some things that need to be fixed. But overall, I think Jalen Hurts is way more locked in than a lot of people give him credit for. And today proved that. His passer rating proved it. Now I believe in his pass 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 games he's had a passer rating of 119 plus. That Giants game was the only one where he had 119. But he's on fire since the bye week, and he's really adjusted. Before that, just for reference, guys, every game of a pass rating, he was no higher or no lower than the 80s. He was an 80.3 against the Packers and an 85.1 against the Bucks. So up and down. But when you look at how he's adjusted coming out of the bye, this kid is really locked in.
Yeah, I mean, he has definitely gotten a lot better as this season's gone on. So he made some questionable plays today that I don't know if it was a busted play or what, but we got the W. He again didn't have another turnover, so it was, I think, that bye week, even though it was early on in the season, I think it kind of made us collect ourselves and come back firing. And I think if he keeps playing this way, we will definitely see a different Jalen Hurts, and he will take us to the promised land. I mean, he played phenomenal today. He had over, I want to say, 85 rushing yards. So it's nice to see him back, feeling confident in this offense and running when he needs to. But again, there's these different, he had a dime to, well, I don't know if it was a dime, but it was a great play to great throw to Devontae Smith. That was a fucking dot. So he believes in his long ball, and he had another pass to AJ Brown. So I think as the season goes on, as he grows with Kellen Moore, he's getting better and better, and that's what we need to see throughout the rest of the season. And he needs to, I personally think he needs to get the ball out of his hands quicker than he has been. But other than that, I mean, no complaints at all.
That makes sense. And I understand why you and other people say that. I saw some other people saying some other things, and it's just like, what? Talking about him running the ball too early. It's like, no, I thought he was fine in his decision making. I thought he was actually looking down the field long enough on pretty much every pass. But yeah, Jack, I think you hit the nail on the head there. And Kellen Moore, I'm glad you brought him up too. There was a play, I think it was that 3rd and 22, where Saquon had the run. It was like an inside zone run for a touchdown, was it? And Kellen Moore ran up to Sirianni and he like starts jumping up and down. And that was cool to see because that shows you guys that these guys are having fun. And when they're having fun, that's dangerous. Kellen Moore, I think, knows what he's doing. And I think that was almost like a moment for him and Sirianni of where it's like, okay, Nick, you need to kind of pass over the keys. Kellen had a good call. I don't know why you would call an inside zone on 3rd and 22. Doesn't make sense to me personally. Probably doesn't make sense to you either. But guess what? We're not the coordinator of the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. And it worked. It went for a touchdown.
Yeah, and when Saquon scored that second touchdown, Josh and I were talking about it. It was kind of like a bullshit play. We weren't expecting to, get a touchdown on it, but the blocking was great. It was kind of a toss-up play, and I'm glad we converted on it and scored a touchdown. But I mean, I made a comment to Josh today. Saquon and Jalen Hurts, I think they're getting better and better as the game goes on, and that's what we need to see for this team to be successful.
Yeah, they need to, you're right. They need to continue to evolve, which they have so far, to give these guys credit. They have very much evolved, but they need to continue to do that week after week. Easier said than done. Defense, I guess I'll let you take this one too. Defense overall, have they evolved? What would you say?
Yeah, I think this is the second week that we saw the defense playing phenomenal ball. We need to stop with the penalties, but like I said, previously, I think with Vic Fangio's the defense coordinator, we just needed to give him time to kind of work in his system to our defensive players, and it worked. I mean, the defense is looking better and better. Nakobe Dean's looking great. Zach Bond had another great night. Josh Sweat had a sack and a half, which is great to see. Reed Blankenship had a great play. All in all, this defense looks a hell of a lot better than we did 2 weeks ago. And I think that's, with Vic Fangio and working in his system and letting it go on as the season go on. Because I mean, dude, I think this defense is legit. And I didn't really see Huff at all tonight, but I would like to see him more out there. I love BG, great defensive player, but he had a key tackle that he could have tackled for loss, and he missed the tackle. So again, little things like that. We need to learn how to tackle. We need to buzz our feet. We need to make sure we make the tackle, because if we miss an open field tackle, they're going touchdown. You're muted, buddy.
All good. I was just talking to our TikTok. You're good.
Wow. Yeah, no, this defense is looking a lot better. I think, again, Cooper DeJean had a great play at the line on that 4th and 1 where he, broke up that pass. It probably should have been defense pass interference, but it was a missed call. But he's looking really good. Quinyon Mitchell's looking really good. These rookies we have are playing phenomenal ball. I think right now, as of right now, Quinyon Mitchell is top 15, top 10 cornerbacks in the league right now. So we drafted these two players because we needed somebody at that spot, and they're playing phenomenal ball. Like Cooper DeJean, Isaiah Rodgers is playing pretty good. He had that tip ball, almost interception. I know we're talking about defense, but I want to hit on this real quick and kind of backtrack. That Jahan Dotson catch that he had, That Jahan Dotson catch where he tipped it to himself was a phenomenal ball. And that's what Jahan Dotson was utilized at Washington. Jahan Dotson played phenomenal today. We didn't really see him, get that many receptions until tonight. But other than that, this defense is looking really good. But I just wanted to hit on Jahan Dotson's catch.
Yeah, it was nice to see him kind of have a moment too, because since he's been here, I know he's been waiting for it. We've been waiting for it. It's kind of just like not a matter of if, a matter of when. He's definitely a talented player, a former first round pick. Then he played for the Commanders. But yeah, the Eagles defense overall, I don't know. Yeah. I just had this graphic, my man. But Nakobe Dean taken over today. I mean, you have that forced fumble that then Zach Bond turns into a pick, and then he has the interception there to seal the game. We've been talking about him pretty much all season long about how he's shown up for this team, how he's really been the one linebacker. Bond kind of came in. We knew what we had with Bond once the season started, but Dean's been here for a while, and we've been waiting for one of these linebackers to break out. And this has been Dean's turn, and boy, has he shown up to the plate.
Oh, for sure. I know. I mean, and this is what we expected out of him when we drafted him that low or that late in the draft. He just wasn't healthy, and this was his first year where he's been healthy. And this year, him being healthy is one of the best. Obviously, is the best season he's had with the Eagles, and he is making the plays when they need to be made. I mean, that pick he had tonight in the end zone to seal the deal was a great pick. And Nakobe Dean is playing phenomenal ball. Him and Zach Bond, the tandem at the middle linebacker. I think that's one of the best tandems we've had in the past, I would say 5-6 years. But yeah, no, it is good seeing Nakobe Dean playing as well as he has this season. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad he has showed up for this team in plays that matter, and so that's good to see.
Like I said, I mean, the kid is evolved. We've been waiting for it. Jack and I were in a bar the night that this kid got drafted. We wanted him. We thought that he would get taken early, and now he's shown up. So every time that Nakobe Dean makes a play, I know me and a certain other cluster of Eagles fans get extremely excited because we believed in this guy before he was an Eagle, just because we've needed a linebacker, and he was that piece. He's been kind of, held up by injury, but boy, oh boy. I mean, you're now 10 games into it next week, 9 games for the Eagles, but he's shown up. So it's been beautiful. But let's go ahead and get into our call-ins here because we got 3 call-ins backstage. Kicking it off with Fratty from the Phillies postgame show. Fratty, how you doing tonight?
Doing all right. I'm just walking up the steps now. What's the name? I'm just getting ready. I just got done watching the game downstairs. Now I'm gonna come up here, getting settled in here. I'm about to watch the Sunday night games soon. Hopefully Minnesota loses. So, but anyway, say this. I thought we were gonna blow them out. It was looking like pretty much like a convincing win, and then just Trevor Lawrence was Jags just were marching down the field. There's that one drive, and then Saquon Barkley and on that controversial fumble, pretty much made this game into an interesting game. And then what's the name? After that, Devontae Smith's sick catch. I thought the for the most part, besides, I thought the defense for the most part played great today, but that really should have never happened. This game shouldn't have never been this close. And I'll say this, Jacksonville, I think the last couple times has, I think, kept it close. I think the last 2 times they lost to us by only 1 possession. So if Jacksonville seems like the Jaguars as of late have always gave us a tough game, but and then so what happened was so the Eagles were just holding on. Devontae Smith sick catch, and then after that Jaguars were trying to storm back, and then after that 28-23 I thought we were going to lose at the end, but
You lost hope.
out of nowhere, out of the blue, comes Nakobe Dean, which I all of a sudden, I thought that was a good move. I mean, I thought that was a good move. I know he was originally just supposed to be a guy that was just supposed to go after quarterbacks, but to put him in the secondary is a smart move by the Eagles, especially he's kind of filling in Slay's holes a little bit with him not playing tonight, but overall that was a great play. And I'll say one thing: a win is a win. We keep pace with the Washington Commanders, who also won by almost a similar score, same amount of points of 1.20. They won 27-22. We won 28-23. And tell you one thing. Next week,
Dallas week.
Dallas Cowboys. I regret pick. I will never bet on the Cowboys ever again. I don't know why. I'm glad I didn't put no money on that. I mean, that was.
It's not good.
I think I pretty much on that put. I think I pretty much set up Cowboys fans, and I don't think a few Cowboys fans really like that. I think, I. But overall, I'd say great win. But my concern though, big concern is AJ Brown. AJ Brown knee injury. If you think about it, here's my thing. I know he has a knee injury. I don't know if it's not a major knee injury. Here's my thing. Do we risk playing him twice in 4 days with coming off a knee injury? If he comes back, I don't think so, because 2 times.
We'll figure it out. They'll be okay. I mean, they'll get it figured out. But we got to get to our next call in because we have a couple more. So I want to thank you for jumping on here, Friday. We appreciate you, brother.
I got to get
good
off
night
anyway,
and go Birds.
Yep, go Birds.
See you, bro.
See you, Friday. Bye.
All right, Dennis, what's up, brother?
Sidney Brown season.
No.
There it is.
Nope. It's not. Nope.
Jack, you're freaking full of crap. Your boy Reed Blankenship blew the freaking end of the game for Ingram. And
Sidney Brown had one big play tonight, and that was the forced fumble.
Yeah, and your boy blew up, a 30-yard pass and then let him walk in the end zone? Yeah, your boy's a bum. Dude,
besides Sidney Brown, what did you like? What did you like tonight?
I like that Nakobe Dean stepped up and showed what they drafted him for. I think it was phenomenal.
Hell yeah.
Jalen's getting mad, and he's starting to play like the quarterback that we know he is. And it's nice to see that these guys are finally showing, like, hey, let's play football. Let's play Eagles football, and let's do the damn thing. Getting them points in the first quarter, get that crap out of the way so we don't got to listen to that no more. Like, that was nice. Like, we just got to keep building and chipping things away, and certain other players need to clean the crap up or get out. It's that simple.
That's what had to happen with Devin White. You're exactly right. I mean, now that they finally cleaned up their act, defense, I think, has their holes. Don't get me wrong. They have their issues. But overall, when you look at the past 4 games, they've been a great defense. I mean, they've locked in. They've done what they needed to do. They'll get it together. I mean, you've seen them have problems, especially in the beginning of the season with that tackling problem. And that's the thing. If you guys think that we're not missing something, if we're going to see it, just imagine what Vic Fangio is going to do. He's going to see all the bad plays tonight in his dreams before he goes to bed tonight. And then he's going to tell everybody the fuck about it tomorrow and make sure that it doesn't happen again next week. Yeah. I mean, I thought overall, they look good. They showed up. Yeah. And like you said, Dennis, Nakobe Dean looked sharp.
They're finding their soul again. That's what is, when you find your soul, when you find out who you are and you understand what you're good at and you stick to that moral, you are a dangerous team. You're a dangerous player. And when the players start believing in each other, which there's shines of it, but then there's times when they give up a big play and you see it, they're all like, what the So they're getting it. It's just taking time.
And I'm not one to blame the refs, but the refs called a really shitty game. That Saquon fumble he got tripped. He literally got his sock pulled and he fell to the ground and fumbled it. So they had other calls out there that, were kind of questionable. But like I said, I don't like blaming refs, but tonight the refs did not call a great game at all.
No, I agree. There was a lot of shady calls.
Yeah.
But I know y'all got other call-ins. I love y'all. I just wanted to show support. Jack, play 2K and just admit that Sidney Brown is better than that other bitch.
I'm not doing that, but I will play 2K.
See y'all.
I love you.
Next up, we got Eric from the Phillies postgame show. How you feeling after this?
Dennis, him and his Reed Blanken shit agenda. So hilarious. But no, I got a few things. First thing, Nick Sirianni, and I'm sure you guys already touched on this. Nick Sirianni has to go, or like they got to figure something out. You gotta just give Kellen Moore full offensive power and stop overriding everything he tries to do. You left 9 points on the fucking board, and it shouldn't have been this close of a game. It shouldn't have came down to a Nakobe Dean last-minute interception in the end zone. Because honestly, that ball was just a little bit thrown the wrong way. And if it was thrown the right way, it would have been a game-ending touchdown. It would have been.
Yeah.
Second thing, Saquon Barkley, he put this game on his back. You could see he was fired up and pissed off at the end there with some of those angry runs. And again, you guys said it earlier, but I think Saquon to us is like CMC or Derrick Henry to their respective teams at the trade deadline. Speaking of the trade deadline, last thing I want to leave you guys with as kind of a talking point, trade deadline is Tuesday. So what do you guys think is going to happen tomorrow or Tuesday? Personally, I think it's going to be either something big on defense or something with that right tackle spot for what's his name, Jordan Mailata. Fill him in because Fred Johnson is not the answer. He's just not.
I think we look at an edge rusher. Granted, Fred Johnson isn't the answer, but at the same time, he's doing what he should be doing, and he's filling in a role decently well. Like when Lane Johnson went down, he filled in there. When Mailata, went down, he's still playing decent football. Again, he's not the answer, but I think we should focus more on the edge rusher because tonight or this whole season we haven't been able to get the edge rusher, going like we have in the past. And Huff isn't the answer. Josh Sweat played really well tonight, but we need somebody else like we're not going to get him, but Max Crosby, or we need somebody. Myles Garrett. Yeah, so we need somebody like that to kind of seal the edge for sure.
Well, can I bring up something real quick?
I think it would be edge rusher if they're going to get any player.
I agree. What do you want to say, Shardy? And then we're going to move on.
So I'm reading the comments, and the one thing I wanted to bring up from Slashing Santa. So I've been seeing rumors about this today. Huff, he barely played today. I think he only had one snap. People are saying that they think he's going to be traded at the trade deadline, and that he's gone. Now, I don't know how true that is. I would be surprised if he's traded because they went through all that crap with Hassan Reddick and, switching people around. But, yeah, I mean, I agree. I think they need an edge rush, but I do think they've been getting home the past couple weeks. I think the edge rush is starting to finally find its identity. And I think really the only thing on defense is that a lot of the secondary is young, but it's good young. Like Cooper DeJean, absolute dog today. Quinyon Mitchell, absolute dog today. Rodgers, not too impressive, in my opinion. But then you put fucking Avonte Maddox in at the last second, and he, butchers that play and lets up a first. So, like, Slay, he's done. I can't stand Slay. I hate him. I think anytime you pull Slay, he's better. Avonte Maddox made a glass, absolute dumbass in the secondary. I can't stand him. But yeah, I mean that's all I got for you guys. I
had one question for you, though. It was something you said about Nick, and I thought it was a good question. I know there's a delay with me. There's something up with my Wi-Fi, so I'm going to join and come back. But I wanted to ask you, did you see that moment with Kellen Moore when he ran up to Nick? Do you think that is kind of like what you're saying with Nick Sirianni just pushing his agenda too much? And did you think that was kind of like shown there?
So let me ask you this. Are you asking me if you think that like they have a good chemistry?
I think that's where he was getting at. Yeah.
Do I think they have a good chemistry?
But just more like Nick's like over like power control.
I think he's not doing a lot of what he said in the beginning of the season, where he said at the beginning of the season, "Oh, I'm just going to be more on the back seat. I'm going to let them kind of take it over and do what they need to do." I think he kind of has his hand on the gas a little bit too much. Because again, I mean, any sane head coach is not going to go for 2 points as much as he did today. And I really think the only reason he went for 2 points as much as he did was because he was trying to give a big FU to Doug Pederson.
100%. Oh, 100%.
And that's the only reason I can see it is because he's trying to say, "Oh, I'm a better coach than you." Whereas Doug Pederson in Philly has actually won a Super Bowl, unlike your bitch ass. Sorry. I mean, hate to admit it. Doug Pederson might not be a good head coach now, but like he's the only head coach that has won a Super Bowl in Philly. Nick Sirianni, you have not. So
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it was definitely a big fuck you to Doug Pederson. But Shardy, we appreciate you hopping on tonight. We're gonna move on to our girl Ash. See you, Shardy. Hey, Ashley.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Good. Well, that was a crazy game.
Oh yeah. Tell me your takeaways.
Biggest takeaways is that Devontae Smith stepped up to the plate today. He was there when we needed him, and that was really, really great to see, especially now not knowing what's going on with AJ Brown. Sidney Brown, like I've been saying since before we drafted the guy. I love him. I have no idea what happened to the team in that second half. No clue. Hopefully we kind of get some details ironed out as to what in the world happened so that it doesn't happen again. We started playing prevent defense way too early, and in my opinion, you just cannot start playing prevent defense in the third quarter. Like that's not going to work. Those were my biggest takeaways from today.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see what the severity of AJ Brown's injury is, because I definitely think we are a better team with AJ Brown and Smitty as wide receivers. But yeah, I mean, there was, again, I like I said earlier, I don't like to blame the refs, but this game I blame the refs because they had some questionable calls that, they should have been called. And I think after that fumble of Saquon Barkley, I think the sails in our ship kind of deflated, or when, they weren't there, because after that happened, after that touchdown, and we saw a different team, it looked like they weren't really trying at all. It just didn't look like the first half team that we were, when we were up 22-0 at halftime. So I really think we let that affect us. And we shouldn't have. But again, a win is a win. It's an ugly win. I've said it before that these games that we should win by a lot, they're always our closest games. And then games that we shouldn't really win or contend with, we usually blow them out of the water, like the Bengals. So, I mean, yeah, I definitely agree with you there, Ashley. We need to figure it out. Anything else, Dalt?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head, too. It's nice to see. Unfortunately, AJ Brown, at least this season, there's something not right with him. So he's got to get that figured out, or there's just something wrong all the time. Either way, whatever it is, it's not good. But the good thing is that you have somebody like Devontae Smith who can step up to the plate, like you pointed out. And at first, I really wanted to give credit to these receivers all season. Like, okay, these are insane catches. These are great catches that these receivers are making. This is insane athleticism by the wideout. Jalen Hurts has had a couple good balls to Devontae Smith the past couple. Like, Devontae Smith is small. And if you use that to your advantage, it's a good thing, because I don't think any other wideout on the team could have gotten their 2 feet down except for Smitty. And like I just said, being small sometimes is a good thing in football, because you're so tiny. You're the only guy that's going to be able to fit in that corner of the end zone and get his 2 feet down. Insane athleticism, still insane concentration by the wideout. Nothing to take that credit away from the catch. But the throw was almost majestic. As I was watching in slow motion, it was like, oh, it's like coming in slow motion. It was a perfect spiral. So, like I said earlier in the show, Jalen Hurts is really locked in on his passer rating. Ashley, thank you for giving Smitty his credit. We appreciate you. Ash, anything else you want to say?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Well, we
Cool.
appreciate
Well, hey,
we appreciate you being on tonight, and we'll see you Wednesday. Will you be on Wednesday?
That's the plan.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. All right, have a good night, Ashley.
You too.
Bye.
but yeah, like you said, Jack, I mean, and like everybody else said, a win is a win. I think that that's the theme overall for us Eagles fans. 4 in a row now. Going into Dallas, you go to Dallas next week, so that's going to be a tough atmosphere in Jerry's world. You know, he's sliding some money under the table to the referees. So I expect that to be not the easiest game, but with the way that the Cowboys are playing, the way that the Cowboys played today and they look today, I think that the Eagles, no doubt, should win that game, led by Saquon Barkley. Eagles are doing the right things. Hopefully they continue to do that. Hopefully they continue to impress us. Hopefully they continue to press you guys and get that good momentum. Like I was talking about a little bit earlier on the show, late October, throughout November, early December, that 6 weeks or whatever you want to call it, the last week of October, the first week of December, or first 2 weeks of December, really, it's really crucial for your team to get good momentum before you go into the playoffs and stack up those wins. And the Eagles are setting themselves up, I think, to compete with the other best team in the NFC, being probably the Detroit Lions. So stay tuned for that, because that could be an insane NFC championship if we have Philadelphia Eagles, Detroit Lions. Where is it going to be played? I don't know. Detroit, I also saw today an insane stat that this was their first outdoor game all season. Kind of crazy. Not to sidetrack, but that's all I got. If you guys haven't, please subscribe, please like, please comment. All those little things mean a ton to us and really help us grow our page. So like I said, if you're on Twitter, drop a follow on Twitter, retweet it, like it. Anything helps. But come watch us on Wednesday night. We will be doing our weekly broadcast, and I will kick it to Jackson to take us out of here. And if you got anything else, feel free to say it.
Yeah, no. So we got the Cowboys next week's Cowboys week. We need to, the team is wounded. The Cowboys are wounded. They aren't playing great football. This is a pivotal game. We need to win, and then we go into the Commanders Thursday night. So these next 2 games are crucial for this team, and we need to win them. And I really think that this team is built for it. But yeah, without further ado, Eagles win 28-25 or 28-25. 28-23. It was a pissing match, which it shouldn't have been, but a win is a win. Without further ado. Hey, Josh, it's an outro, not an intro. Hit that motherfucking outro.
This is for you.